All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Welcome to the Dukes of Gaming podcast. I'm your host, Thomas, the Duke of Procrastination. Thank you for choosing to hang with us for the next hour and some change as we talk to y'all about what's happening in the world of video games. You can find us on your favorite podcast service, and you can find us also on YouTube. Links to our socials will be below in the description. And before we get started, I take great pleasure in introducing my fellow co-hosts. First and foremost, we have the Duke of Rocket League. What's going on, Cole? How you doing this week?
Hey, good. Having a Saturday night. Cheers, guys. 2 sick babies. Got 2 beers by my side.
Cheers. Cheers. What's going on? We have the Duke of Design. What's going on, Ben? How are you this week?
Yo, I got some early 4th of July celebrators outside lighting off some fireworks. So if you hear some pops, it's not gunshots. Don't be scared. Okay.
Just people having fun.
Just people confused about the date.
And of course, we have the Duke of Nostalgia. What's going on, Taylor?
I am drenched in the juices of nostalgia this week. The sticky, viscous juices of nostalgia have coated my body in the best way possible.
Overflowing. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have the Duke of Education. What's going on, Alfredo?
Hey, I'm super excited to catch you guys up on all of the nonsense that my students have gotten up to. And, I may be glad to be, exchanging them for some other students. So, year's coming to an end. Time for new students to come in.
Life of an educator.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a bit of housekeeping. Me, Cole, and Alfredo, we did a Ratchet and Clank review / spoiler cast. About 75% of it is spoiler free, but the back half, we will be discussing spoilers. We'll be releasing that sometime this week, so stay tuned for that. But let's get to this episode. This week, is Kojima involved in another PlayStation exclusive? And what are some of the most anticipated games remaining in 2021? We have all that and more coming up. But first, I ask the age-old question. What have we been playing this week? Anybody, the floor is yours.
I'll jump in. So this is I'm going to tell a quick story. Well, actually, it's rather lengthy, but I'm just going to do the best I can.
You got it.
Me, Thomas, and Alfredo played Alt Space in VR on the Quest. And so more specifically, me and Thomas got on last week on Wednesday. We just want to check it out. It's like the second time we've been on there. And I get on and I was like, first of all, Alt Space is like The Sims in VR. It's almost like a Second Life. Like, it's just a chat room. You hang out with people, you talk, and you can watch videos. There's live events, things like that. So anyway, we hadn't really dove into it too deep, but Thomas said, "Hey man, check out. There's like this Harlem world that we can check out. It's pretty cool. So come with me." So he puts a portal down. You can drop a portal from the main area, and it will take me to wherever Thomas launches us to. So we go to this world, and there was a subway entrance. So we go down these little steps, and we had to get on a subway. And I was like, "This is all in VR, and this is already really cool." We get into the subway. The subway takes us. We get out. We come out the subway, walk up the stairs, and we're in like New York City. We're in Harlem. You see everything. There's a break dancer dancing like it's an animation character dancing over here. And I was like, man, this is awesome. We walk a little farther. There's a huge poster of Biggie up on the wall. Oh, and by the way, they're playing Motown music, which is personally my favorite music of all time, like the 1960s Motown. I think it was Stevie Wonder was playing. So I was like, dude, this is incredible, Thomas. He's like, yeah, there's a museum over here. So I was like, what? Just start going down this rabbit hole. Went to this museum that was in there that a creator made. A creator made this world. This is not like a alt space like default place. This is a creator made world. We go into this museum. It's all this cool like Harlem art, all music. There's a music based art and just all kinds of stuff. It was incredible. So then it was rather empty. We saw a little character came up to us. It was a real person. And Thomas, what did he say? What happened next?
Are you talking about the butler dude?
Yeah.
So we were just watching the art exhibit. Like we're just looking.
We
at
thought
all
we were
the
alone
art.
in this world.
Yeah, and it's like there was a couple people there, but it wasn't a lot. So I thought it was just an art exhibit. We're just, just looking at all the great art on the wall. This dude comes up to us. He's like, "Are y'all here for the event?" I'm like, "Event? Sure."
I looked at that.
And so he
Like,
takes
we're
us
in
he
VR
takes us
now.
over there.
We're in
It's a
VR.
dangerous question.
I look at Thomas on like event. What was he talking about? He was like, "Yeah, y'all just follow me. Follow me."
Right.
So he goes over there. We follow him. Now all this is like so immersive. Spatial audio. Someone's talking to your right. You hear them. It is the most immersive VR experience I've ever been a part of. Is Altspace. It's crazy. So we get to this area and there's a few people outside and there's this black door. So there's two people dressed up outside the door, real life people, and they're like, "So I need to see your ID, please." So we were like, "Okay, you get the ID." Everybody's role playing, so we like pretend to show him our ID, and a bouncer comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I need you to back up. I need you to back up a little bit." So I was like, "Okay." He's like, "One at a time." Thomas goes in there, gets his picture taken. There's like two girls in there working. They're all dressed up, working this stairway. They take a picture of Thomas in front of this art piece, and he like throws his hands up. Then they say, "Okay, sweetie, you come on in." So then I came in there. I took a little picture in front of it. We walk down to the bottom. They tell us we're not in dress code, so we have to go in the menu, like change our outfits and put on like top hats and stuff. And we're like, "What is this, dude? This is crazy." So then we finally get to the bottom of the staircase. Opens up to like this. The best way I can describe is like a speakeasy, or it's underground. There's probably 45, 50 people in here, real life Altspace players, sitting at booths, all dressed up, like dressed to the nines in Altspace. And like there's champagne on the tables. There's a full bar over here. There's a guy playing piano on the front stage. And like people are greeting us saying, "How are y'all doing tonight? Yeah, come on in, take a seat, go down to the, sit in the little there's like little booths." So we went and sat down and hung out. They had like a singing competition up there and stuff. It was incredible. It was unbelievable. Thomas,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about it?
So I did not expect it to be as authentic as it was. Like I've never been to a speakeasy in terms of like I've been to like maybe events where they've tried to do a speakeasy. This actually felt like a speakeasy. Like we have to dress up. There's a waitress walking down, like there's a simulated waitress, not like a real Altspace person. It's like somebody they put in the world. There's a bar. There is people at our table who we're conversating with, and they have a best dress competition. And like they pick
Crazy.
somebody and they give you an actual $50 reward if you're best dressed. It's an actual event, and that
all the
blew
social
my mind.
Yeah, dude, and all these social norms that you would expect played into full effect in this place. So like me and Thomas sat in our area of the booth. There's a couple over there and they're like close, like facing each other. You could tell they're like together. Like you could just tell, like the way their things were interacting, you could tell they were together. And like they're kind of whispering to each other. We can't even really hear what they're saying because they're whispering. And like I'll lean in and talk to Thomas, and like it was literally like we're at a bar. Like we're at a bar together. And then I was like, "Hey man, we'll walk up to let's walk across the thing to the bar." So me and him get up, walk across the whole bar, greet people as we go. "Hey, how y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing tonight?" Get to the bar. Then this other lady comes up, introduces herself. Apparently she's some like big high up person in Altspace. She's in with all the crowds. And she was like, dude, I was grinning ear to ear this whole time because this experience was just incredible. And I was like on the cusp of just laughing in pure joy of this whole experience. It's just so hard to describe without being there. But she looks at Thomas and she says, "So you have done a VR Altspace faux pas? Is that the right word?"
She said faux pas. That's exactly what she said.
Faux pas? She said, and Thomas was like, "What? What's that?" She's like, "You're wearing a skirt." And I just lost it. I was like crying, dude, because Thomas, he looked at me, he was holding his little drink, and he's just like, I was laughing so hard. His little character had a skirt on, and I was laughing so hard and everything.
And
in
my defense,
incredible.
The skirt, the way the animation looks when you're choosing your outfits, I swore that particular pant, look, it had a slit in the middle, like it was a pant, but it wasn't. So I changed outfits immediately to some khakis, and I will never make that mistake again. But the fact that it was like, it was just so apparent. It was so funny. Let me in though.
Yep. So to sum it up, so then after that, we were like, okay, we got to get off. It's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock or something. Time's going like crazy. We've been hanging out in this speakeasy underground bar. So we leave. We tell people bye on the way out. We had a good night, just greeting people as we leave. And then we hear over the intercom right before we signed out that there's a movie theater connected to it. So they were about to play The Pursuit of Happiness. So everybody left the bar area and went and took their seats in the theater, which was upstairs by the art gallery, and everybody just sat in there and watched Pursuit of Happiness. It was just insane. It was crazy. We both described it as the most next gen experience we've had, like compared to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I also got a Quest 2 and have been able to hop in this, and it's worth every penny. It's like kind of mind-blowing just how real it looks. Not visually, because, it's still cartoony avatars, but how real it feels.
The presence.
Right.
Because, it feels like you're actually there. And honestly, it's kind of like an introvert stream, because me, like, I would never go to these places like by myself, but I can stay muted the whole time in these places. So I've gone to like
leave, and you can leave
night.
and teleport away too. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
That's a funny way to describe it, an introvert's dream. I can see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. I've gone to like, they have stand-up comic nights, like they have karaoke nights, they have like all these different kind of events. So I'm way too introverted to like meet like random people, but maybe I'll get there one day. But it's super immersive, super cool. It makes you really think about like what's next in VR, and seeing something like that with the Quest 2 is like definitely getting like closer to Ready Player One levels.
Sweet.
To wrap it up, actually, and he says he's introverted, but he performed we went to a talent show, and Alfredo blew it all away, and he sang a song up there. It was incredible. It was awesome. We were sitting there clapping in the crowd and stuff. Yep. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it's unbelievable, and that's what we played. That's what I'm gonna say. I've been playing other stuff this week, but that was like the highlight of the week as far as what we've been playing. Me and Alfredo wound up going to a house party the next night, and it was a whole different story of this guy we met there who was crazy about his jacuzzi bubbles, and like we just had to bounce out of this house party because it just started getting strange. But yeah, so that's what we've been playing. It's unbelievable experience.
Sorry, I had technical difficulties. I am back though.
I gotta get on that Quest 2 stuff, because that sounds like my jam. Really, that sounds amazing.
It is. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's less gaming, more experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I only heard what you said a little bit. I am introverted. It's because of the anonymity that I'm able to do something like that, though, I would say.
What, the singing part?
Yeah. Just because it feels, it feels like it's real, but it's far enough that I can like be there and just peace out. Okay, bye. Like as soon as
it's different than performing in front of your high school friends. You know what I'm saying? It's
right,
it's
right.
I got you. That makes sense. Well, yeah, that's a great one. I mean, I'm glad you said it, because I was going to use that one as well. I guess for me, the other experience I did this week as far as gaming, look, I'm not a Call of Duty person. I'm not. Like, I buy Call of Duty to play the story. I'm one of those people. And I usually play the story every single year. I don't touch the multiplayer. It's never really been something I'm really interested in. But I don't know. For some reason, Call of Duty Mobile has me. This is an everyday thing now, where every single day I'm playing this game. And I don't know if y'all have ever had a game where it's like, you touch it and you feel like the shit. Like, off top, you feel like the shit. Like, it's always like one random game where you get it. And for some reason, Call of Duty Mobile, like, I just get it. Like, when it comes to regular Call of Duties, that doesn't really work. I don't really like, playing multiplayer. But for this multiplayer, I'm really good at this game. So this will be what I continue to play pretty much every day on my breaks of work. And I'm shocked because I don't like mobile games and I don't like multiplayer Call of Duty.
Are you playing with like straight up just touchscreen controls, or are you playing with the controller?
No, I can show you. I use the Xbox Series X controller.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, I got really big into PUBG Mobile.
Yeah,
like
I use
2
this.
years ago when that came out.
So it has the clip. You put your phone like right here, and I use it for Game Pass, the cloud gaming. I use it for that, but it works really well with Call of Duty Mobile too. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it costs like $5 for the clip.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time. Really, besides that, I've been reading a lot of manga this week, so not much gaming besides Alt Space and Call of Duty Mobile. Days Gone a little bit, but yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, I've been playing Days Gone as well, but aside from that, I've been jumping in and out of Mario Sunshine for a while now, ever since I picked it up for Switch. I kind of got a weird, like, maybe this is a reminisce topic, but I always used to play the first level of Mario Sunshine at the dentist office every time I went there because they had like consoles there in the waiting room in the dentist office. There's like a couple. There's a GameCube and a PS2. Ever. Yeah. So it was like a GameCube, and it was Mario Sunshine, and they didn't save. There was no saves. So every time I went in, it was a new game. So I played the beginning of that game probably like 20 times, and so I had never played it all the way through. So plugging through bit by bit, and my son, he's only 20 months old. He really likes Mario as a character. Like I have a book of consequential video games. It's like a coffee table book, and he always flips open the page and looks at Mario, and he like points at Mario. And he's like, "This guy, I like this guy." And so, every once in a while, I'll spin it up for 20 minutes or so, and he'll watch me play. And it's just remark on how interesting it is to see like the just pure wonder and joy of the medium in its basest form. Just like he's watching the screen, he's just amazed about everything that happens. And I jump up and I do, some platforming, basic platforming, and I'm horrible at this game. I am terrible at this game. But he's so thrilled by every little success. And it's just fun. Yeah, it's a fun little experience.
Nice.
That's something that I'm going through too, and it really is incredible, and it kind of brings you back, and it makes you appreciate those little games. Even crappy games that like we play Paw Patrol Save Adventure Bay, and like awful. It was like not a good game, but like the fact that they're having so much fun and wondrous like playing this game makes me like love the game, But yeah, specifically like Mario and stuff, let him try Mario Kart, because Mario Kart has the automatic steering, the auto steering and auto accelerate, so he can just kind of like look at it and hold it. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I'm in the same boat as you.
I'm curious as to when he has baby's first blue shell and seeing how that goes.
Yeah.
That's fun. But speaking of not so great games, if you're done, Ben, I wanted to update you guys on my students. So like I've been telling you guys for the past couple of weeks, I've been playing this little game on the Switch called World's End Club, which like I said before, seems like it was right on my alley. It is the makers of Danganronpa and Zero Escape series come together to make this ultimate visual novel, because basically that's what it was. Zero Escape series was visual novel, heavy emphasis on puzzles. Danganronpa is visual novel, heavy emphasis on story itself. So I thought I was going to get the best of both worlds here. So I have finished the game after 11 hours. Visual novel, you have to go, basically how it goes is you make slight decisions, but in order to get the true ending, you have to go back to certain story moments and make the alternate decisions. Basically see every path that you could have done in order to complete the game and get the true ending. These students, so the characters themselves are great. I like a lot of the characters. They have a lot going on for them. I like them. Like I said, the gameplay is pretty flat. This is a game that is baby's first visual novel, is what it is. So It's actually really great for, new experiences. It's made for like 10-year-olds and under, basically, which is something I was not expecting, considering the Zero Escape series and Danganronpa series cover like super serious adult themed topics. And this game is not that at all. It's extremely light puzzles, extremely light platforming, and the story unfortunately did not, bring those twists and turns that I wanted, and the 11 hours that I spent weren't rewarding in the mystery that played out. Just to give you a quick example, this is a game where your students will quite literally break out into musical numbers. Not only will they do this multiple times, and they will actually, this is fully animated cutscenes where they will do this too. The whole 2-minute song. You just have to sit there and, watch them do it. But they actually use this power of friendship and hope and, youthfulness to actually defeat enemies. Quite literally, they used it to defeat one villain in particular and, use the power of friendship to turn the tides of battle. So, that's what I had to deal with. So all that said, I spent 11 hours of my life playing this game and hoping for the best so that you guys do not have to. Do not play this game. It is not a good game at all. It is a great kids game, though, I will say. Very, very good kids game. The story is good enough for like baby's first visual novel. But don't spend $40 on it or $50 on it, for sure. But yeah, all that said, I'm excited to not play this game at all anymore and finally dive into Mario Rabbids, which I'm actually having a pretty good time with so far. Not far in at all, but I'm excited to, trade out my students, go play Mario, and then also get back to Fire Emblem and have, that great story that I know I will actually get in that game.
Well, to end on a low note, I have been playing Petz Vet, Petz Vet. Do you remember Bratz? Bratz had a sub category for toys that were animals called Pets. This is the video game. It's not really, actually. That's the interesting thing. So I'm going through all my old Game Boy games, and I find one that I think was my sister's, or I stumbled across it at some point and bought it for fun. I was like, Pets, okay, that's a recognizable IP. Slip that in, I start playing it, and it is a lifestyle RPG simulator that has nothing to do with pets. It turns out it was originally a Japanese RPG called Sunflower Animal Hospital, and just to sell it in the US they made it Pets. It is the most text based game I've ever seen. There is so much dialogue in this game about running not running, but being an intern at an animal hospital. You have to read through maybe 50 lines of text to get to the next selection. So I just want to say shout out to the translators for this game, because you put in the hours. It's a horrible game. Most of it spent playing tennis, oddly enough. It's nothing but mini games to go around the vet simulation, which is really just whether or not you think an animal deserves to go to the hospital or get medicine, which doesn't impact anything. It is such a vapid game. There's nothing there. The tennis is bad in Pets Vet.
Wait, so is this like Tamagotchi life? Like, how people have those, pocket pets. Is it kind of like that?
No, not at all. Not at all. You play as a character. That character knows 100 people in town. I'm not going to list them all, but there is a different character for every single building in the city, and sub-characters within those buildings. For example, there is a subway operator. He runs the subway. And here's the conductor who talks to you when you're on the subway. and here's the head vet, and here is the greeter at the door for the vet clinic, and here's a woman who has a dog, here's her brother, here's his wife, here's her son, and they all have personalities, and it's a horrible experience. I feel bad for anyone who bought this game thinking it was any little kid who liked Bratz who bought this game thinking it would be somewhat similar to their pets' toys, was fooled greatly, because this is I got tired playing it before I exited the tutorial. It was just
love to hear it.
yeah, so that's what I've been playing, and I'm not playing anymore. So I played it once to experience it. It's bad. I do not recommend. I bless the translators, because the amount of text in that game is just nonsensical.
Put in that overtime.
That's all I got.
All right. So, our first topic is admittingly to me, very weird story in general. So, there's a game coming out for PS5 called Abandoned. It is a PlayStation exclusive. It is due to release. I don't remember if it had a date, but it's been delayed. I know that much. So I don't think it has an active date right now. That's not really the story. The story is more so that this game, for some reason, has been linked to Hideo Kojima. People are speculating that he is somewhat involved in this game, that he might be the secret owner of the studio Blue Box Games, and that he's somewhat involved. There's a lot of different speculation. And I'm just going to put this out to the floor. What do y'all think about this? Because it's a weird story to me.
Have any of you gone through the Twitter threads about this Blue Box Gaming thing?
Yeah.
They are
For sure.
They are absurd.
Crazy.
The obsession people have over this, and I get it. Hideo Kojima is also an absurd, obsessive human being, and I wouldn't put it past him to hide his identity behind many, 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 many layers of absolute nonsense. But get a life. Come on. We'll find out when we find out.
I haven't read this story. I haven't read the story at all. I don't even know anything about this story. But this sounds like Kojima. This sounds like something. It sounds just like it.
It does. But to preface the story a little bit more for people who are a little bit out of the loop, basically Hideo Kojima is, developer of Metal Gear Solid. He's done, games like Silent Hill, PT. People were rumoring, that this game called Abandoned, that is supposed to be from a completely different studio and not related to Kojima at all, actually is related to Kojima, and they're doing a huge marketing ploy in order to hide the fact this is actually a Hideo Kojima video game. And everything about it is ridiculous. But the thing is, I think people are latching onto this story because he's done something similar like this in the past, where he said that, this project, X project, has nothing to do with me. And then, it turns out, he actually did. I think one in particular project, if I can try to find it again. I was reading about a project that he was involved in, where basically there was a game director that had a completely different name, and it turned out to be Hideo Kojima in disguise, and the name that the director had, who was associated with the project, was like an anagram for Hideo Kojima or something like that, and it was a big reveal.
That was Metal Gear Solid 5. That was Metal Gear Solid 5. So the game was The Phantom Pain minus the Metal Gear Solid title. And I think the studio was Moby Dick Studio. There's Moby Dick allusions all over Metal Gear Solid 5 in the story. And when he showed up as the game director to talk about Phantom Pain, I think he was like wrapped in bandages. Like he literally looked like the Invisible Man. He was like totally wrapped in bandages, which was another allusion to the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 5. Wow. So there's some precedent for this. And it's not just that. PT released as a playable teaser for, not Silent Hills. Nobody knew it was Silent Hills until they found the Easter egg at the end of PT that explained that it was Silent Hills. Nobody knew that it was Hideo Kojima because the studio name was like 47 Studios or something like that. It was like some number, just random studio name nobody had ever heard of. So there's rampant speculation that this Blue Box thing is another ploy by Hideo Kojima, much in the same vein as those two previous ploys, which are, aside from Death Stranding, his two most recent game projects.
Yeah, and what's even more suspicious about this whole story, is the fact that this game is apparently so closely tied to PlayStation. So basically, this game was supposed to have a reveal event on June 22nd, where it would have in-game trailers and exclusive looks into what the gameplay would look like and more details about the game. But it wasn't that simple. It was basically they were going to release a PlayStation app that would contain these trailers and these glimpses of real life, like gameplay and real life little snippets of the game. Just very convoluted things that you wouldn't really get from an indie studio. And the fact that they're, closely tied to the PlayStation app itself was raising a lot of red flags for people. But all that said, they were supposed to do this on June 22nd. And then it got delayed a couple of days later because basically the team said that they needed a little more time. And then when the date finally came for June 25th, the new date where it was revealed, they basically said, we're actually not ready because of the stress of the team and we want it to look as great as possible. And they delayed it till August. So basically but at the same time, more and more theories are coming out that, the letters, this single tweet from the director came out has is alluding to Silent Hills, has it starts with an S. The game developer is literally tweeting abandon equals first letter S, last letter L. So most people are thinking Silent Hill. Regardless of if this is a Kojima game or not, they are definitely using the marketing to their advantage for sure, and they're like milking this cow with everything they got. And the delay is another example of that. So we don't know if there's a lot of signs pointing to it being related to, Kojima, but there's also a lot pointing to it not. So nobody knows for sure, and we won't really know until the game releases, honestly.
Here's a good example from the Blue Box conspiracy Reddit. They had a countdown recently on YouTube, the game, and the countdown, the uploaded edited version of the countdown ends at 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 15 seconds. Now, if you all remember correctly, the original Silent Hill game had a thing at the bottom that said 3615 Konami.
Oh my god.
Confirmed.
There it is.
It's confirmed.
So there are some frankly ridiculous and tenuous connections that people are making with this whole thing. The things that really seemed to set it over the edge were what Alfredo was alluding to, that this indie studio that has never released a game, seemingly has never released a game before, has suddenly a relationship with PlayStation.
Exactly.
Nobody even knows the developers behind this studio. It's not like they were on other prominent projects and then created a new studio. Nobody knows anybody that is working on this game in any real, capacity, except for the outsourced studio, who was actually a pretty well-known outsourced studio. And they've got a personal relationship with PlayStation. They had a PlayStation blog. It's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Sony has ostensibly put marketing dollars behind this thing. And they have I think this is the first time that I've ever heard of anything like this. They're going to have a PlayStation app that basically runs the game, an unplayable version of the game in real time. So the trailer you're seeing is not a pre-recorded, pre-rendered thing. Mm-hmm. It's a real-time trailer in PlayStation that it's actually in PlayStation 5 that it's actually taking advantage of the hardware and rendering game. And rendering what is ostensibly going to be what the game looks like in the end. So that's the huge red flag that I think is really the warranted piece here. There are some other pieces that are fairly conspicuous, such as Hassan Karaman, which I think is the name of the game director for Blue Box Studios and the game director for Abandoned. Obviously, his initials HK, Hideo Kojima, but it goes one step further than that. You put his last name, Karaman, in Google Translate, and you translate from Turkish to Japanese, and what does it come out to? Hideo, or it comes out to?
So if you actually translate Hideo Kojima from Japanese to Turkish, then you get Karaman, which is the current directors.
So then, to me, that's confirmed.
Yeah.
This is Hideo Kojima's game.
It is, but let's all calm down.
Like, well, look,
we can't.
I will say this. I am not on board with all. Like, I'm with you, Taylor, on that. But if this is Silent Hill, PT was a masterpiece. That game is the scariest piece of media I have ever consumed in my entire life. It is unbelievable. The scariest thing I've ever played.
It's just kind of crazy also because the current director, Karaman, actually did a video showing that he's a real person. So that kind of got people to die down a little, but they keep dropping these little breadcrumbs to, hey, I'm a real person, but here's this, and that, showing that, I won't show you my team for unknown reasons. Like, they literally will tell us, we can't talk to you about the reason why we can't show you anything or show you other, developers or anything. So it's brilliant marketing.
John McAfee knew Hideo Kojima. They were best friends. That's why he had to put him to silence. That 31 terabytes that John McAfee's about to upload is going to reveal everything Hideo Kojima knows.
My God, this got deep and dark real quick.
Hey, did y'all play PT?
How deep does this go?
Oh yeah,
I
played it.
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was phenomenal.
I wish I had it on my
great.
PS5.
Yeah.
I will say there's one part about this that makes me 99% certain that it's all a coincidence. And that is the original trailer that they put out on the PlayStation blog. It looks pretty amateurish.
I agree.
It looks pretty indie studio. It does not look AAA quality. It does not look like something that somebody with the renown of Hideo Kojima would want to be the first look at something he's working on.
You know what makes me think that last scene when the hand is holding the gun.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Unless they purposely created this so that it would draw people, into a false sense of security of saying, oh, this is just an indie studio. And then they come out with this, 10-point marketing plan to set, for their ultimate game release.
Could also all be an ARG, and Blue Box Game Studios is the subject of the new video game. Very well could be.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
But I just watching that trailer, I can't. The rest like just falls flat on his face, and at that point, it puts me in a position where I'm thinking they understood what the type of speculation this would drum up, and they just want to milk it, and it's doing a great job because I had never heard of Blue Box, I had never heard of Abandoned, and now I have. I'm
now we
still
all
not going to play it, but
well, now we all have to wait till August to find out, if we actually will, get some more information on this. But they're definitely going to be milking it all the way, 2 months until then.
The release day. So you're looking in the credits. That's they're not going to ever let us know until then. Because why give up that marketing if it's not true? Like, what will be the incentive to give it up? So, all power to them.
Very true.
So, now let's get into our main topic of the show. Now that we're off of Kojima, now that we're off of Abandoned, because I'm sure this is not going to be one of our games. E3's over. We have a good sense of what's coming out for the rest of 2021. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to pick our most anticipated game of 2021. Now, let's start with Ben. We can start with you.
I was looking through the list of all the games that are going to come out this year, and I was surprised that there there was really only one that was calling to me, and it's one that I've talked about before. It's Deathloop, Arcane's new game. It's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. The 60s vibe to the Moon Crash-esque, you die and you start from the beginning and you just have to, come up with a better plan, to the immersive sim, Dishonored type emergent gameplay and powers and all that good stuff. This game is totally speaking to me, and I just have a feeling that I'm going to love it. If I like it half as much as I like Prey, or half as much as I like Dishonored, I'm going to have a really great time with this game. But I hope that it meaningfully iterates on the formula of both of those games, taking the lessons that they've learned from those releases, especially Moon Crash. Moon Crash is really something special. Not enough people have played that DLC. It's really, really good. And then they add this new twist, this 60s twist, and this multiplayer edge to it, where you can invade someone else's game and try to screw up their run. I think this could be a real gem. I'm confident it's probably going to sell it just as well as any Arcane game has. I don't think it has mass appeal beyond the core group that loves Arcane's games the way that I do. But I think it's going to be really, really good.
I don't know about sales-wise, because obviously since it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, that limits it. But I do think this one has a good amount of hype. Like, I remember when Prey was announced, I don't remember there being a lot of hype for that. I remember it was like, I saw that, I was like, oh, it's going to be fine. I didn't realize Arcane was making it. But, it didn't set the world on fire with this announcement. I think when Deathloop was announced at that PlayStation conference a year ago, that was one of the standouts. So I do think it has that opportunity to kind of bring Arcane into a bigger spotlight. I think it really has that opportunity. Even though sales-wise, it might be on par with Dishonored, with Prey. I think that's only because it's a PlayStation 5. Is it PlayStation 5 exclusive or is it PS4 as well?
I believe it's PlayStation 5 exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that since it's PlayStation 5, that might limit the sales to that level. But I do think this could be the breakout game for Arcane. And I'm happy for him. It couldn't happen to a better studio.
I think you might be right simply because of that 60s aesthetic. And it's a really good look and feel to set a property in, and not often taken advantage of.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mafia 3 was the last one I remember that did it.
Which game?
That's right.
Mafia 3. That took place in like the civil rights era. I really liked the story of that game, even though I hate the gameplay of it. The story, like, I love that era. I think a lot more movies, TV shows, video games should take advantage of that era because there's a lot of great stories you can tell. I think Deathloop's going to be one of those really good stories, at least as far as I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I'm not a huge fan of Arcane Studios. I played Dishonored and Dishonored 2, all of that. And those are obviously more stealth-oriented ways. With those games in particular, especially with Dishonored 2, you can lean more into the chaotic side and play it more like, a little bit more like a Call of Duty. Maybe not completely that way, but you have an option to, do more running and gunning. And this one seems like it's kind of leaning more into that more mainstream, less stealth, more take out the bad guys, it's you against them, and you're doing these crazy cool, you're an action movie here kind of in a sense, which I think is a little bit more mainstreamy, and it is just, more interesting to, a lot of players in general who play games like Call of Duty. But all that said, I think this game is leaning into more of, it seems like a blend of like BioShock-ish with, it does seem like kind of they're going more into a BioShock, like with the powers especially. It seems like this is a little bit more fantastical, and they're blending, these cool superpowers with, this cool Doom style gameplay where it's like a lot faster paced, and you're here, you do this super cool move to this enemy, and then you shoot this guy's head off, you slide under, this machine at the right time in order to, pull up these crazy, insane stuff. So I actually think, because they're leaning into more of the faster paced gameplay, I think this will actually be a bigger hit and they'll do greater sales just because it seems to be appealing to a lot more people, including me, actually. I actually like stealth games, but Deathloop is something unique in particular because it seems to be borrowing from those more popular game genres to me. But I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing as how this is going to be the PS5 exclusive, and then PlayStation won't get another Arcane Studios game because of the Bethesda acquisition from Xbox.
Presumably,
yeah.
Presumably.
So it's gonna be interesting seeing how PlayStation fans, react to this. If it comes out and it's a banger of a game, they'll have to go over to Xbox and go over there to play Arcane's next games.
That'd be crazy if Deathloop 2, if they could hypothetically make that, if that was an Xbox exclusive. Like that'd be I don't even know how that would, because you would think if you cultivated an audience for the game, if it's really, obviously it assumes it's a really good game and inspires a sequel, like you would think that it would still be on PlayStation if they did a sequel.
Yeah, it's kind of akin to the situation in which Sunset Overdrive is.
That's a good one. That's a good comparison.
Right?
For sure.
Because the first game is still an Xbox and PC exclusive.
But they never got a sequel to it, right?
Not yet, but if they did, we would assume that it would be a PlayStation exclusive because Insomniac owns the IP and PlayStation owns Insomniac.
We'll see. I can't wait. Can't wait for Deathloop. Who wants to go next?
I don't really have huge breakout games to talk about, but I'm going to mention two because I really don't have much to say about either of them. Koa for Switch and the PC is coming out next month, and it looks pretty. It looks very pretty, and I think that's all I can say about it. It looks very pretty. I like puzzle games like it, but doing research on it, there's so little information out there about it. The studio's new. The artist behind the game seems fairly reclusive, and there's really not much to be said about that game, except I think it looks nice. So I'm excited to see that. The other game I'll mention is one I mentioned a little bit, and none of you had heard of it, but it's actually a Pokemon game. It's Pokemon Unite, which is their MOBA, Pokemon's MOBA. I wasn't excited about this. I don't like MOBAs. I used to play League, and I used to play a little bit of Dota 2, and they got away from me pretty fast. I stopped caring about them. And I think I watched the new trailer that dropped last week for Pokemon Unite, and I think it has a place in MOBAs. Pokemon are easily recognizable characters with already well-established movesets and builds. So being able to throw them into it, looking just how well defined the characters are, you can tell a Snorlax is going to be a bit of a wall. Meanwhile, Lucario is going to be over here, running fast, dodging attacks. And I don't know, the new trailer really made me think that Pokemon Unite has some legs to stand on, because I really didn't think it did when they announced it. People really didn't care when they announced it because they thought they were going to announce something bigger. But I'm going to give it a shot. I am definitely going to give Pokemon Unite a shot because, I don't know, it might be a MOBA that I like because it's so quick and easy to look at the screen and know what's going on. And that's really all thanks to the designs of the Pokemon and how universal they are at this point. So that's my opinion there.
I'm with you, man. I think that I've never played a MOBA before, and it's always been a little bit intimidating for me to want to have a learning. It's a kind of a steep learning curve. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that correct to say about a MOBA? So with Pokemon, I'm very interested in this. If this comes out and gets good reviews, or if Taylor, you tell me it's good and it's worth playing, I'm gonna jump in and try this. that just became that was not even on my radar until you just said it, and now it's definitely on my radar. It's actually one of my most excited games. I just looked up some gameplay and stuff, and it might be really good.
Is it just gonna be on Switch?
No, it's actually going to be on mobile and PC and Switch. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
I might have to get this for my iPhone. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Same thing.
Let's all get on there.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's cross. I'd hope it's crossplay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine. So.
It's a Tencent.
It is
owned company
Nintendo
that's making it. It's a Tencent owned company that's making it, not Nintendo. It's
okay.
It's
Okay.
That's a little disappointing.
There's hope. I hope it's crossplay because that would be amazing. I think I might be on if everybody's trying to play this, I might have to hop on because I like Pokemon. I never tried a MOBA, but I think the combination is a pretty sound combination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you just sold us on all this, Taylor.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like MOBAs because I've tried them before. I tried League actually before quite a couple of times just because it seems like something that would be right up my alley. But every single time that I've downloaded it, I've tried the tutorial and it's just so incredibly complicated to the point where it kind of makes me be like, ugh, it's a little too much for me. Like, I'm not going to spend all this time learning just so that I could potentially have fun. But that said, now looking at this Pokemon Unite game, which I had no idea even existed, I mean, it makes complete sense because League of Legends, like their net worth that they rake in, like is around 15 billion, I believe. So this is like a massive market, and that's only League of Legends. So slapping the Pokemon name on a MOBA sounds like a really smart business decision in that Pokemon is a franchise that, is super inviting itself. Like if you slap Pokemon on it, it doesn't bring a sense of, oh, this is gonna be like too tough to learn. Like people love Pokemon. Even though I'm not a super fan, I'm like, ooh, this is Pokemon and it looks kind of cool. I want to jump in. So I feel like they could definitely capitalize on this. And just looking from what they've shown so far, it looks extremely similar to, every other MOBA that I've seen, but with a Pokemon skin on it. But because of that skin, it's a little less intimidating for me, if that makes sense.
I think it could be baby's first MOBA. I think it could fill that niche, and I think that'd be perfect for this type of game.
Yeah.
I need that.
Me too.
I need that.
I had a friend who lost his social life due to League of Legends. Learning everything, like getting really good. He was on there every single day after school, every day. It was, so those games I know can be super addicting. I've just been very, I wouldn't say intimidated. Intimidated is the wrong word, but just lacking the conviction to stick with those games. And I think Pokemon could definitely lean me in that direction.
I think it's also a thing too, like I've known those games are good the same way as MMOs, but I've purposely stayed away from them just because of that addictive nature. And I just don't have the time for it anymore like I did when I was in college or younger. Man, I spent literally days in Final Fantasy 11. Like I was just days. I think my playtime at some point was like 20 days. And I was like, oh my God, it's absurd. So I think it's kind of like a self-preservation thing that we kind of tend to stay away from them because they could suck you in so much.
I guess I'll go next.
I am sold on this game. So
I'm sold too. I guess I'll go next. So I bought my Xbox for one reason and one reason only. Now, Game Pass has been nice. Obviously, experimenting with the games have been nice, but there's one game that I bought this system for. I bought this system as soon as I saw that reveal trailer for Halo Infinite. When I saw that reveal trailer where everybody was making fun of it, everybody memed the hell out that trailer, I was sitting there like, I need this game. This man is on the back of the box for my Series X. I've been waiting for this game for so long. We don't have a date yet, but it's confirmed it is coming for holiday. Once this game comes out, this will be my life. This will be my life for the next probably 2-3 months at the very least, playing this every day. it's been almost 7 years since we've had the last Halo. Now, I'm a new-ish Halo fan. I really just got into the Halo series. I've always wanted to, but I never owned an Xbox. So when I got my Series X, crossed them all off my bucket list. All five. I think I played 5 of them. Played all 5 of the stories. Played a bit of the multiplayer. So I'm well versed now in the Halo lore. And just seeing the reveals for everything we got for E3, what the multiplayer is going to be, the fact that it's going to be free to play, the fact that it's 120 frames per second confirmed. I'm ready for this game. I think that this has potential to be the game that puts Halo back in the good graces of gamers, because I don't think it's been that way, I would argue, since Reach. I think Reach was the last time where Halo came out and it was a Game of the Year contender. I think this one has the potential, because this year, while it's been a good year, it hasn't been one of those standout years in gaming. And I think that this game can come out and really sweep up the zeitgeist. I am super excited for this game. I can't sing the praises enough of how much I'm excited for it.
I hope it lives up to that. I hope it's so good that I have to buy an Xbox.
Me too. I'm sitting here waiting.
Yeah,
the fact that it's... Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
I was just going to say the fact that it's on, Game Pass, and the fact that they're making the multiplayer free, which they didn't have to do at all, is going to make this game bigger than it ever would have been. Don't get me wrong, it would have been big, super big anyway, because, Game Pass already has like 23 million subscribers, but it's going to be even bigger because it's free now. And now they can do what Fortnite and all other, live games as a services are doing now. They can do, battle passes to, offer even more stuff. They can turn it into like seasons where they offer, completely new things each season to spice up the gameplay. Like, there's a lot they can do with that. But I think for me, as someone who's never played Halo, I'm really excited for the story itself. Because now on Game Pass, I can go ahead, play all those games, all those Halo games, get caught up with the story, and then, experience the single-player story, which looks awesome as well. So, I mean, from a total package, the multiplayer and the single-player story, it looks like an awesome game, honestly.
It does. Even though I'm not that big of a Halo fan, I never really was, but I want there to be a healthy, like, Game of the Year contending Halo. Like, I just feel like that's good for gaming. I want that there. Just the same way before 2017, I wanted a healthy Nintendo when the Wii U was out. It was just such a downer that Nintendo wasn't really a factor in gaming for those few years. And now they are, and it's awesome. And I want Halo to come back, and I think it's good for gaming.
That's a really good point. I think that, I'm a big basketball guy. It's like when a team like the Lakers or the Knicks are not good. It's like, you want those historic franchises to be good. Like, it just makes the sphere of gaming better. Even whether you're a fan or whether you're not, it's always good to have Halo in the zeitgeist. It's one of the biggest video game franchises we have.
You want Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Right. You want Halo in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think that the pressure that is on 343 to deliver, and the fact that they delayed it a year. It's like, it just, to me, if it doesn't, it's like, I don't think it won't deliver, because if this doesn't hit, then I don't think you can justify making a Halo 7. Or if you do, it's pushed off to the back burner. And Microsoft has to figure out what they're going to do as far as their big franchise for the system. I think that this is do or die time.
Yeah, I think I trust them. The fact that they delayed it for a year, I think I honestly would trust them, if it's needed to do it again, to delay it. And they might, they will definitely disappoint people. But I think they learned their lessons from, not putting out quality products and, Crackdown 3, for example. Like, instead of delaying it and making a good game, they just put it out just to put it out. And it's kind of been the story of Xbox, up till now. They don't put out quality games. There have been some hidden gems here and there, and they're building up to do that. But I think they really learned their lesson that if they're going to put something out from now on, it's going to be quality. So I could definitely see them, delaying the single player, but maybe pushing out the multiplayer, like I've talked about a little bit before, because what we've seen, the snippets, what we've seen of the multiplayer looks completely awesome how it is already. So hopefully the actual gameplay of, when you actually get in there can retain that moment-to-moment excitement and the awesome, action-packed stuff that they have going on right now. But I wouldn't be disappointed with them if they chose to delay the single player again. Now, the multiplayer, I want to play it, so I'd probably be a little disappointed, but, I'll take what I can get.
I would like for them to release them at the same time, but I also wouldn't hate if they release the beta for the multiplayer and just keep the beta up. And that gradually turns into just, the regular multiplayer, and then you release. If they want to do it that way, I think that's fine too. I know that Call of Duty doesn't do it that way specifically, but they have had long beta periods before they release the actual game. So I don't think that it would be a problem. I prefer if they release them both at the same time, though. I think after a year, for it to get that game of the year type press, releasing the full package all at one time, I think is the way to go. Now, Cole. I guess we can go Cole next. What's your most anticipated game of the year?
Oh gosh. Well, I was looking at the list and I tried so hard to come up with something else. I really did, but I just couldn't. If for new franchises, I would say Horizon, but even that doesn't beat what I have in mind for my most anticipated game, and it's not even close. This year is just, honestly, we'll just come out and say it. It's a pretty disappointing year, I think. I mean, it's just not, I don't know. Everything, all the big guns are coming out next year. It's going to be huge, one of the best years in gaming. But this year, my most anticipated title by a country mile is Grand Theft Auto 5. This is the third release of Grand Theft Auto 5. After the 24, so we had the 2013 standard edition, then you had the 2014 next gen edition. Now you got the next gen edition. 3
console generations.
Yeah,
it's 3 console generations. That's testament impressive to how great this game is. This game is top 3 best selling games of all time. I think the only thing's bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5 is Tetris and Minecraft, and it may have passed Minecraft by this point. I think it's 130 million copies sold of Grand Theft Auto 5. So here's what I want in the PS5 version. So 4K, I don't really care about 60 frames per second. Like a locked 30 Grand Theft Auto would be great. To me, what feels dated in Grand Theft Auto, and the really reason that I don't play it that much anymore, is because of the load times. They are terrible. If you want to get in on GTA and do something, it's akin to jumping into an MMO and trying to get a group together to do something. It's really, it sucks. It does not feel modern at all. You first of all, loading into an online server takes about 5-6 full minutes. Then I think it was cut down a little bit with PS5, load times, just a little bit though, nothing crazy. Then you get in, then you want to get into a race set or whatever. It does this thing where it zooms out to the clouds, then it sits there for 30 seconds, then you load it into a lobby, then you're waiting on the lobby, then you got to load into the race, and then finally when the race is awesome, the gameplay is incredible for that 4 or 5 minutes, and then you're sitting around and you're just waiting for another 20 minutes, going through the same thing again. So I would really like a revamp of the lobby system, which I don't think we're going to get, but that would be awesome. Let's modernize this thing. Come on, like, make it a little bit more enjoyable to play. But like simple things like more traffic, more pedestrians, 4K, up textures, things like that would be really exciting. One thing that I am hopeful for, but I don't think it's gonna happen, is I wish they would add Liberty City. I think I've said that before, but coming out strong, coming out the gate, like people would flock back to GTA if you throw in another city with this enhanced edition. Man, that would be awesome. What would this pull y'all back in? What do y'all think?
I played it already. I'm good.
But the gameplay's so good.
I think I'll jump back in. I played GTA 5 when it came out, and I haven't really played it since. GTA Online, I never really got into, partially because of that load time issue, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unless they fix something with the PlayStation 4 version, the PS5 version is still going to have to wait around for PlayStation 4 players to get in the lobby.
That's right. Yeah,
so
think about that.
Even if it loads in fast, you're still going to be waiting for your race to start, because the PS4 players are going to be queuing. So unless they, just totally revamp their servers, which I guess is possible, but
yeah, you're right about that. I completely forgot about that. That's true. So that's probably not going to happen. We're probably just going to get updated graphics, maybe frame rate, and then that's going to be it. But now they may be able to work out a way to add in an extra map on the PS4 and just load. We would have to go through the load, but load us into Liberty City, go into the airport, and fly into Liberty City or something. That may work. One thing I do want to see them do, if y'all haven't played in a long time, if you get into GTA Online right now, you get absolutely destroyed. There's flying motorcycles that shoot missiles. There's flying DeLoreans. There's all this ridiculous stuff. These servers have gotten out of control. So like back in the old days when it was actually incredible. When Grand Theft Auto Online, it was a rocky start, but like that first year was awesome. There was nothing that was crazy. You literally just worked to buy your apartment, to buy your few your muscle car, and you got your street racing car, and like it was hard to get stuff, but it was fun, and you would accumulate and move up in the world just like you do in single player. You would kind of move up the ranks in your criminal empire and build your houses and stuff. It was awesome, but now it's just gotten so out of hand. You got everyone's flying around on motorcycles, everyone's going around in tanks. It's just a free for all. So I would I wish they would do a reset.
It sounds like they did like Saint wrote it.
Really, they did
like these zany powers and stuff.
They just ran out of. I guess they tried to keep it fresh, but like maybe an option to where you can go back to like a reset, like a more realistic server, because GTA roleplay is huge. So people love getting in GTA and just doing like very boring stuff. Have y'all seen all these videos of people doing RPG like roleplay and stuff in GTA?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my most anticipated game.
What would get me back is if they announced it for PlayStation VR 2. That would get me back. They'd have me. They'd have so me. Cool. I would be there day one, but just not for the update. For just upgraded graphics, just not. Is it a free upgrade or is it a pay? Do you have to pay for it?
I think it's free if you own the PS4 version.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
Is it? Okay.
All right.
I think so. And
if they're charging $70 for that, I don't know.
We do know that the studio that made LA Noire VR version, I believe, is working on another Rockstar title.
Oh,
so they could be doing a conversion of GTA 5.
That would be amazing.
Amazing. I would love that.
That would be amazing.
I would just love riding around Los Santos, just cruising through the streets. Cool. I mean, it's the best. It's the most detailed, best video game world, I think, hands down. And it was made 7 years ago.
Just causing hell in VR and running away from the cops sounds like a dream.
Yeah,
like that just sounds like.
Dude, how awesome would it be? Like one of y'all. Imagine like one of you guys driving. I'm like hanging out the window, shooting at the cars behind. This is incredible.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Maybe that's Grand Theft Auto 6.
So cool.
But honestly, what would get me back in? Because I'm not a huge Grand Theft Auto player either, but I get in there, play the story. But I think it's what you said, Cole. Just getting a new map and getting something from the previous games, whether that be Liberty City or San Andreas, something like that. I think that would definitely bring me back in because I have so many great memories from those two games in particular that I would have to, give Rockstar even more of my money just to re-experience that. But that said, I don't think they need to because they know they have, those Grand Theft Auto players on a hook that they don't need to do anything except say, hey, it's out for this next gen now. And then, money will automatically come their way.
Yeah.
But wishful thinking.
Yes.
Bit of a fact check. Top 5 selling video games of all time. Number 5, PUBG. Number 4, Wii Sports. Number 3, Tetris from 2006. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto. And number 1, Minecraft. And the
cool.
gap
It took
between
over
Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5 is pretty sizable.
Yeah, but that's not fair, I don't think, because Minecraft is so much cheaper and it's on so many more platforms.
A lot of them on the list aren't fair because Wii Sports doesn't count. That's like adding Wii sales, like, so Grand Theft Auto is, probably
Tetris,
number one in terms
was,
of.
Tetris was bundled with Game Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, the one that's on the list is the one that EA made for mobile phones.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's different.
That one specifically is on the list.
The
Grand Theft
mobile
Auto
phones.
5, I'd say as far in those 5 games would probably have been the most expensive. Like as far as how much it cost.
Well, the most profitable
is when they sold it.
Hands down, the most profitable is GTA. That
Absolutely.
by far. It's the most profitable entertainment IP ever.
This is just saying base sales. That's not taking into account like the shark card sales. Like that's not.
Right.
So yeah, number 1 is GTA as far as like you calculate. I'd assume if you think about like microtransactions wise, GTA has to be in that top 5.
No, so do y'all not remember this article that came out? It came out like 2 years ago. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the most profitable single piece of media ever released compared to any other movie,
I believe it.
any other game,
I've seen that. Yeah,
any
I've seen
other
that.
album. Crazy.
It's the reason why we don't have Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 5 just keeps selling, and it will continue to sell
See, I
once
hate
it
it.
becomes on PS5.
I hate it.
So. And last but not least, Alfredo.
Yeah, so there are actually quite a few games that I'm looking at, anticipating for the 2021. Notable honorary mentions would be Dying Light 2, Psychonauts, and Horizon for sure. But the one that is probably like my most anticipated would be a new game from a new studio that is releasing in August. And this game is called Kena Bridge of Spirits. So, for anyone who doesn't know, this game has been covered by Sony extensively, like released on PlayStation Blog. Like new details have been put out by them. And basically what this is a third-person action adventure in a very Disney Pixar-like animation style. So the new studio that is creating this game is called Ember Labs, and they used to be an animation studio who is basically became interested in making games, and they wanted to see how they could, cross the bridge from making little animations into, a large-scale video game. Not quite AAA, more like a AA game. So during E3, they were actually featured at the Tribeca Games showcase, and the developers themselves of Ember Labs were able to, talk a little bit about their experience, show a little bit more. A couple of different games outlets were able to actually get previews of the game and experience about an hour of the game or so, and we were also given a little bit of gameplay. So what we're looking at for this game is basically a Pikmin style gameplay where you have these things called the Rot, which is think Fern Gully, if you ever seen it. The rod is like taking over the forest. It's basically that, but there are also these like little tiny creatures, Pikmin style gameplay that you're using to solve puzzles and manipulate the environment. So it has that, and then it's also leaning into like Horizon styled, God of War bow and arrow gameplay where you're taking out enemies in like a fantasy land. So everything that they've covered and talked about the game and shown is super, super exciting to me, just because it seems to be scratching that itch of, a kid-friendly kind of Horizon. Horizon is kind of kid-friendly, but this is like a super cute, and fun, what seems to be a fun family adventure kind of game for like a AA adventure. And it seems to be introducing some really cool game mechanics. It has puzzles, it has fighting, it has extremely good animation. And I'm excited to see what kind of story they can tell, especially because this is coming from, this is going to be a AA experience, not a AAA. This is going to be essentially an indie-like, more of an indie-like experience. So with indie games in particular, for me, they always, strike a little bit of a different chord than AAA games can strike for me. It's just a little bit more intimate for me, just as far as the stories go and the stories they're able to tell. So luckily, the previews that came out about 2 weeks ago and last week have actually been really good. Everybody who got hands-on time with this game say it's, a blend between Pikmin, Pixar, Horizon, God of War, kind of like those games. So I was really excited for this game, and hearing those previews and seeing how this studio's first shot at, a video game is going really well. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm excited to see if they could give me something, on the same level of a Concrete Genie, which was also kind of like a PlayStation, indie exclusive that did some really unique things and brought me back into the PS2 era of indie games. If they could bring me that sort of, creativity and that sort of adventure, I would be extremely happy with it. Especially considering this game, I believe, is only going to be either $40 or $50, so not full price. But everything about this game is exciting to me, and I'm excited to experience it in only 2 months. But I know we have some people who might not be so excited. Or rather, might be a little trepidatious about this game. Care to explain yourselves, Ben and Thomas?
I'll let Ben take it away first. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trepidatious. I would just say I am hopeful that the gameplay lives up to the visuals, because the visuals set a very high bar. And this is an animation studio that we're talking about getting into games. I would not be surprised if the thing that is weakest about this game is the gameplay. So I hope that it's not.
I would agree with Ben. That's the best description of my trepidation as well. It's not that what I have seen is not impressive. It looks visually amazing. What I've seen of gameplay has not impressed me as much, and that's where my trepidation lies. I really do hope to be proven wrong, because who doesn't want more great games in the ether? But that if I had one trepidation about it, it's just the gameplay hasn't looked spectacular. But I hope they're saving the best for the actual game. So I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, I think that's why it's also my most anticipated, because we know for sure, Horizon's going to be amazing. All these AAA games that are coming out are going to be amazing. But this game has a bit of mystery to it. Like, we don't know too much about it. It's a new IP, it's a new studio, so they have a lot to prove. And from everything they've shown so far, and from what I've heard, everything I've read, it's moving along pretty great. So, like I said, it has that mystery to it that makes me excited to see what a new studio can, do and in order to breathe new life into, this genre that is pretty, overwhelmed with games already, third-person action adventure. So I'm excited what they can do coming from an animation background.
for me, it just seems like the hype and the news and just the overall just I don't know, the sentiment around it when it first was revealed, it was really high, and it just seems to have trailed off to the release. It just seems like it's just going to come out to very small fanfare. So that to me just makes me worry a little bit. But since you said that, it makes me feel a little better that people have actually had impressions on it, and you're saying that they say it was good, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, all the previews have been good on it. None of them have said it's bad. All of them have said like it's solid. So if they can just deliver, they can continue to deliver. I believe they're targeting like a 10-ish hour experience, 8 to 10 hour experience. So if they can like nail what they did in the preview, which it was only 1 hour, and hopefully it doesn't become repetitive and old and just deliver on that same experience, then I think we'll be solid. But then again, Concrete Genie was kind of a game, kind of like you're describing, Cole, where, people were high on it and then it kind of came out with little fanfare. But me personally, I loved Concrete Genie because it was so different from what we usually got. Mm-hmm. So as long as it's on that quality and it could bring something different to the table than just a generic third-person action adventure, I will be completely happy with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
I want this game to succeed mostly because I would love to have a lot more quality. What is this game? Like you said 10 hours, like 10-hour experience around that same time. Like
yeah, they're targeting 8 to 10.
Yeah, I would love to have, more games that are that length, but that quality of, just graphics, everything. I would love to have more of those type of games. So I'm cheering for this game to really do well. I really hope it does.
Luckily we won't have to wait too long. Only 2 more months until it's supposed to get released, and hopefully it doesn't get delayed. So I will keep you posted because I will definitely be playing it.
Good to hear. And those are our most anticipated games of 2021. I would like to thank you all for watching or listening to the Dukes of Gaming podcast. Again, you can find us on your favorite podcast service and watch us on YouTube. Leave a like, a review, a comment, anything to help support the show. Hit the bell as well and get notifications when we release our latest videos on YouTube and on our podcast services. Look for us every Monday. We post everywhere, every Monday, every week. Make sure you start your week right with me and the fellow Dukes, and we'll see you next week. I bid thee farewell. That's
cool. Did you cut Reminisce for time?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah.